Hi, so today I'm going to talk about how trauma can create somebody to be more narcissistic or how it can make somebody more empathetic. So one of the books I'm going to be referencing today is a textbook called Ostracism, Exclusion, and Rejection. And it's a really great book if you're ever interested in social psychology. I've read it front to back, and it's got basically a bunch of different articles concerning the topic and how ostracism can affect the human psyche, as well as how it influences us versus like physical abuse, because it's physical abuse and emotional or mental abuse. They both affect the same part of the brain. So when you take Tylenol, it actually calms down that area of the brain so that you don't actually feel an overwhelming feeling of like anxiety, I would think. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to mention is there's this one article. It's called the anthropological aspects of ostracism, and it's by Patrick Sardenberg and Douglas P. Fry. And in this book, they talk about 4 distinct things when it comes to the frameworks that create, like, there's 4 fundamental needs that everybody needs in their life, okay? Belonging, self-esteem, control, and meaningful existence. For any child to be raised in a happy and healthy environment, they need to have these 4 things in order to not fall into a realm of like trauma that can affect their psyche. So what these 2 researchers talked about is when belonging or self-esteem are threatened, individuals will strive to behave in a pro-social manner as to regain acceptance. So when a child is raised with that belonging or their self-esteem is threatened and they don't feel safe in feeling like they belong or having a self-esteem that's concrete, they will seek to like validate people around them in order to have that mirrored back to them and feel safe. They want to find a place that makes them feel belonging and feel that they have a sense of self and self-esteem. And they do that in order to regain acceptance. However, when the need of control or meaningful existence is threatened, so if there is a lack of control in the environment or they feel that their life has no meaning to it, individuals may turn to antisocial behavior and aggression for the need of fortification. So this is when people start to go the opposite direction, is that they need to turn to a narcissistic defense mechanism in order to feel like they have control of their life and feel that they have meaning. So it would make sense why somebody who wants to belong, they're searching for that, for their tribe, they're searching for their group in order to feel like they aren't being ostracized or excluded from people around them. And that like their self-esteem, you can affect a child's self-esteem, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to turn into a narcissist. There's people that I know of that have had like their self-esteem affected or damaged, and they turn to pro-social behavior in order to get people to, for them to seek their validation and self-worth. However, when somebody doesn't have control of their life, a lack of control environment, and that could be that they have a very overprotective parent that doesn't allow them to make any decisions for themselves, or it could be that they are basically a piece of furniture in the house and nobody even acts like they matter, or that they're even a human, or that they have feelings. They don't have any control of their life, and therefore that's when they start to turn to this defense mechanism of needing to become narcissistic and turning to antisocial behaviors and aggression in order to regain that control, because they're being suppressed of it. And it's a more primal need than self-esteem. Control is a very primal need, because without control there's chaos, right? Like, you need to have that control in order to feel like less anxiety, to know and and to expect what's to happen. So anyways, that's my perspective on that. So I think that based on those 4 fundamental needs, if you have 2 of them, which is belonging and self-esteem, that are compromised in your life, you're more likely to turn to pro-social behaviors or an empathetic kind of way of regaining validation. But if your lack of control or your meaning to exist are compromised in your youth, then that means you're more likely to turn to narcissistic ways of dealing with it and defense mechanisms. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you're always welcome to ask them, or if you don't agree with me, like, you can feel free to leave a message and let me know what your thoughts are on the topic. And I hope you like and subscribe.